years when deer were being restored to Arkansas. There were no, well, I grew up in North Louisiana in the 40s and 50s, and there were no deer. The year I was a senior in high school, the deer season opened, and I went deer hunting, and I had buckshot in my duck gun, and just after sunset, one came running across and jumped the fence, and I fired, and I went over there and I looked and looked and looked. I never shot at one again. But it's like a zoo animal to me still. So that's why I'm but anyway, Carl talks about restoring those deer habitat with things that we consider invasive now. Things we know, China honeysuckle, Japanese honeysuckle, and so forth, particularly Japanese honeysuckle was put out for deer browse, and it's bad. Well, I understand it's time to read you guys questions, all the questions you want.
Everybody in here, I think, would like to know one answer for sure.
What?
We have a lot of deer here, a tremendous number.
Shoot them.
And we would, we would like to know a plant that they will not eat. Because they eat every landscape plant we've got that I know of.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. In town, you have to do it now, in Fayetteville particularly. People have to put up big fences if they want to really get good at all their vegetables and keep all their flowers that come through. But like I say, I'm not on the extermination team. But I'd still like to go duck hunt, except it happens too early in the morning when it's too cold. I'm wearing my muck boots today just because it was cold. And I might want to walk somewhere outdoors to run. What other questions?
So are there no plants that the deer won't eat?
You can find lists of those. I can't tell you. But some of these flowers, some of the books that we've got, because I don't worry about them, because some of the wildflower books are over here that you may have seen. And one thing is, don't ignore other states' list. Missouri has better online sites, and Illinois has better, Kansas has better, Oklahoma and Texas are pretty good too. Ours are a little behind. We're underfinanced here. But we're getting all that gas money, so we're fracking. We could be rich if you take. But anyway, yeah, some of the specific plants. Yes,
Aubrey, do you have any hints on how to be successful with this application, either online or the paper copy?
Okay. That
works really well, or if you submit it, you're going to get it probably, or?
You're going to get it, or you can, they say on the internet that you can just go ahead and send in your certification and keep building on your native plant supply. You probably, if you will use some of the wildflower books, you can, like I say, some of mine, now that's highway department work. Do they do that around this part up here? Oh, yeah. They just come and scrape, and they mow several times in the summer, and right before the milkweed will be big and pretty, and all the red and yellow and purple and so forth wildflowers, and they'll mow it down, and then they come and scrape it out, which takes the seeds out that are loose on top. But they don't get deep enough to destroy all the roots, so a lot of things come right back out of those ditches. And then, of course, the landowner, okay, that's the frost flower I was talking about. Verbicina virginica is the one, the white one that I've got so much of. There are two kinds of yellow ones. What's this? Penstemon digitalis, early bloomer.
Yeah. And
it'll grow in the, almost totally shaded woods as well as on the tree. But anyway, that's a little flower block. You don't have to have all the plants, but if you've got a book like Bringing Nature Home, and you can look up the host plants of things and find out what's native, then with that kind of list, you can, yeah, I've got 6 oak trees on my half acre here, and I've got a hackberry, some kind of hickory nut or walnut. I've got, what is the, I call it the Cajun spice. What do you put in your gumbo?
Sassafras.
Sassafras root is made into what they call.
Tea.
Okay,
The
what?
leaves make gumbo.
Filet.
Filet. Filet. Okay. That is the host plant for what major butterfly? What did I say? The Cajun spice. The spice bush butterfly. Alternative host is sassafras. So,
We got sassafras.
the only way I can come up, I don't know why I can't remember sassafras.
Cajun
But-
butterfly.
No, I say the Cajun spice.
What is the butterfly? Spice bush
Oh,
butterfly?
the spice bush butterfly uses that as an alternative. Well, I'm sorry to talk so long, but any other questions? Just do it if you're interested, put it in. Go out and make a count. You know the things you planted, but look at what else. You get ahead of that highway truck. Now that was one of the frost flowers. That yellow one, that was also a verbicina, ultra-foliar. Anyway, you get out there before those guys come to mow and get some seed free. If you can talk about a mowing, just mow a little closer to the road so a cigarette won't start a fire next to the road, whatever the idea is. But the way they do that, they wipe out the, these frost flowers are beautiful. I've got one picture of one still in bloom with a white flowered, and I'm trying to hold the camera and see the frost flower at the bottom. Finally, I just held up the piece of ice next to it, and there's another dugout here. But if you're interested, put in your application, and I'll tell you what I'll do today. This was new, and have you got a list of people who are here? Why don't you make it into a drawing or put your finger down, and let's give this book to somebody.
That's all set up for drawing, and so who's handling the drawing today? We're gonna make a third drawing.
So, anybody need to get a number in here before we can draw two?
Everybody got your finger?
Yeah.
Just make that.
But you can on one though.
We don't have
So nice, Aubrey. While we're getting our drawing thing together, I'd like to thank Aubrey for coming up from Fayetteville and sharing. He's just got so many. He could do 10 programs on things he knows, and he brought all these things, and I want to make sure that you all have time to look through the things he brought and the resources. And thank you, Aubrey, so much for coming up all the way from Fayetteville. Okay, we'll do this drawing.